I am the only one out here, and there's good reason for that. It's 10 degrees, the wind is whipping, my skin feels like it's being sliced by frozen knives. Ice covers the shore, and the only path I have my sights set on. This could have been a normal, mundane drive home, but instead I'm here, alone in the middle of an inland sea. And for what purpose? A few years ago, I decided that a certain motto should guide my life. It's so easy nowadays to get steeped into a fast-paced routine. Schedules fill up, we get busy, and it becomes increasingly difficult to break out of a rut. Plus, let's be honest, how much time do we spend sucked into the vortex of infinite scrolling? For me, at a certain point, I was uncomfortable with my answer to that question. Especially once I started working full-time, it started to feel like there was too much time in between the big events that tend to stick into my memory. Because, to be honest, when every day starts to feel the same, time just sort of blurs together, and that's not how I want to remember my life. Which is why I felt like I needed a change, a new way of looking at time, my calendar, and my life. One that could make the mundane more memorable, add novel experiences to my schedule, and keep me from sliding into that seductive trap of scrolling, binge-watching, and letting time speed by without much notice. Well, at least sometimes. I still need a good rot day every now and then. The motto I came up with to slow down my life, break free from mindless scrolling, and to make life more interesting is simple. Any excuse for adventure. These 4 words have been guiding many of the decisions I make in my life, especially when it comes to how I spend my free time. Basically, in whatever situation I'm in, I've switched my default from pulling out my phone or turning on the TV to asking myself, how could I turn this bit of time into a little adventure? Sometimes it's as simple as walking around a park I've never been to. Often it involves taking a spontaneous road trip to a new town with my wife on a lazy Saturday morning. Or using a free evening to go on a long bike ride on a path that I've never been on. It could be something ridiculous and convoluted because I have nothing better to do, like when my friend Jake and I decided to walk the creek to the river, a 16-mile journey that brought us through fields, country roads, secluded woods, and eventually a prison. Yes, the creek ended at a prison. Who knew?
We have just walked source to sea.
Glass Lake in Averill Park, all the way down to Troy, the Hudson.
And 15 and a half miles.
And 6.5 hours. With breaks.
And no one's here to pick us up.
Nope.
Or how about going camping on an alpaca farm? Say less. The point is, whenever the opportunity for something new, interesting, or out of the ordinary arises, I do my best to experience it, to say yes to life instead of staying on my couch or in my comfort zone. And if I have nothing to do, well, instead of letting others dictate how my time is spent, I'm looking at you, Zuckerberg, then I make up any possible excuse I can to get out and go on an adventure, even if it's only a short one. Because I can't just rely on the occasional big, rugged, epic expedition to scratch my wanderlust itch. There are too many blank spots on the calendar just waiting to be filled with interesting, unique life experiences, and they will never be filled unless I do something about it. Which is why I find myself here, on this frozen walkway in the middle of Lake Ontario. A few months ago, while noodling around on Google Earth, I saw a little peninsula jetting deep into the lake. Beyond the peninsula, which was already farther into the lake than most land, there was a lighthouse even further out. Once I saw that, I knew I needed to make it there. So on a long drive home across upstate New York, instead of sticking to the thruway and stopping at mundane rest areas, I added a few hours to the trip to make it here. To sit on frozen water above partially frozen water during a sunset obscured by clouds. At first, the answer to why was simply, why not? But now that I'm here, the answer is obvious. When I do something interesting, out of the ordinary, on the edge of my comfort zone, time slows down. My relationships deepen. I feel fulfilled. I feel free. I feel alive. And I know that experiences like this will be etched into my memory for years to come. Whether it's a simple stroll in an undiscovered patch of land, a goofy time with my wife, family, and friends, or a big wild adventure in a far-off land, the motto remains the same. Any excuse for adventure. And in the end, life gets better, and I become a better person because of it.